The roar surrounding Alexandra Eala is no longer simply growing. It is detonating across the global sports landscape with a force that even the tennis establishment appears to have underestimated. What began as a promising junior story has evolved into something far more powerful, emotional, and culturally significant than anyone could have predicted. As the clay courts of French Open prepare for another brutal chapter in their legendary history, Alexandra Eala walks into Paris not merely as a participant, not merely as a rising talent, but as one of the defining stories of the entire tournament. And perhaps the most astonishing part of all this is how quickly everything has changed. Not long ago, Eala was viewed primarily through the lens of potential. She was the talented Filipina trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy. She was the junior Grand Slam champion with a dangerous left-handed game and a bright future. Analysts admired her technique. Coaches praised her mentality. Fans appreciated her charisma. But now she enters Paris carrying something infinitely heavier than potential. Expectation. Global expectation. Because when footage of her matches goes viral, the reaction no longer stays inside tennis circles. Millions of people who have never watched a WTA match suddenly stop scrolling. They see the crowds, they hear the chants, they feel the emotion, and they instantly recognize that something unusual is happening around this young woman from the Philippines. That emotional reaction matters because sports history is rarely shaped only by statistics. It is shaped by moments that make people feel connected to something larger than themselves. Alexandra Eala has started producing those moments with remarkable consistency. And Roland Garros feels like the perfect stage for the next chapter. There is a reason the French Open occupies such a mythical place within professional tennis. Clay exposes everything. Weak footwork becomes obvious. Poor endurance becomes fatal. Mental fragility gets punished point after point after point until players emotionally collapse beneath the weight of the surface. On hard courts, athletes can sometimes overpower problems. On grass, short points can hide imperfections. But on clay, there is nowhere to hide. The surface interrogates every player completely. That is why so many people inside the sport are fascinated by Eala's evolution on dirt. Because her development appears almost tailor-made for this environment. The philosophy instilled by Rafael Nadal was never built around comfort. It was built around endurance, discipline, repetition, and suffering. At the Nadal Academy, players are conditioned to embrace exhausting rallies instead of fearing them. They are trained to survive emotionally when momentum swings violently against them. They are taught that pain is not an obstacle to greatness but part of the process required to achieve it. You can already see those lessons written into Eala's game. Her movement has become more patient. Her shot selection on clay shows increasing maturity. She is learning how to build points instead of rushing through them. Most importantly, she is beginning to understand one of clay tennis' deepest psychological truths. Winning on this surface often requires accepting discomfort longer than your opponent can tolerate it. That lesson was visible throughout her 2026 clay campaign. Rome became the tournament where much of the tennis world finally realized her rise was not temporary. Victories against Magdalena Frech and Wang Xinyu showcased her increasing tactical sophistication. Against Elena Rybakina, one of the most dangerous power players on the planet, Eala demonstrated that she could absorb elite pace and redirect it intelligently under pressure. Even in defeat, she looked dangerous. That changes how opponents perceive you forever. But what makes Eala's story even more compelling is that her growth has never been linear. She has experienced painful losses, emotional setbacks, and difficult transitions between surfaces. Her defeat in Strasbourg reminded everyone just how punishing professional clay tennis can become. Long rallies, heavy legs, tiny margins, momentum evaporating in a matter of minutes. Yet those struggles may ultimately become the foundation of her future success. Because the greatest clay court players are rarely built through easy victories. They are built through survival. And Alexandra Eala increasingly looks like someone learning how to survive at the highest level. What separates her from many young players is that she combines technical talent with emotional authenticity. Fans sense that immediately. Nothing about her rise feels manufactured. The passion around her exists because people genuinely connect to her story. The Filipino diaspora, spread across continents and cultures, has embraced her with extraordinary intensity because they see representation in her success. They see sacrifice. They see resilience. They see someone carrying their flag into spaces where they historically felt invisible. That emotional connection has transformed ordinary matches into events. In Dubai, Rome, and now heading toward Paris, her supporters have created atmospheres rarely seen in women's tennis outside Grand Slam finals. Philippine flags flood stadiums. Chants echo through arenas. Neutral crowds begin emotionally investing themselves in her matches after only a few games. That kind of energy changes tournaments. Players feel it. Officials notice it. Broadcasters adjust coverage because of it. And now Roland Garros is preparing to experience it on perhaps the grandest scale yet. The symbolism of Paris matters enormously too. Court Philippe Chatrier is not simply a tennis court. It is sacred territory within the sport. Every inch of that clay carries history. Champions become immortal there. Careers collapse there. Legacies are forged there through physical agony and emotional endurance. For Eala, competing in this environment feels almost cinematic considering her connection to Nadal and the clay court philosophy that shaped her development. She arrives not as a random outsider but as a player molded specifically to appreciate the brutal beauty of this surface. And the tennis world knows it. That is why seeded players will be watching the draw nervously. Eala has already crossed into the category of dangerous floater, the type of unseeded or lower-seeded opponent capable of destroying a favorite's tournament in the early rounds. Her left-handed forehand creates natural tactical problems. Her willingness to defend relentlessly frustrates aggressive hitters. Her growing confidence under pressure makes her increasingly unpredictable. Most dangerous of all, she appears fearless. That quality cannot be taught easily. Young players often enter Grand Slams overwhelmed by the scale of the moment. They become passive. They protect themselves emotionally. They hope not to embarrass themselves against established stars. Eala does not appear interested in survival anymore. She looks increasingly interested in disruption. And disruption is exactly what women's tennis is experiencing right now. The WTA Tour is undergoing a massive generational transformation. Established champions remain powerful, but younger players are arriving faster, more athletic, more aggressive, and emotionally bolder than ever before. Coco Gauff, Iga Swiatek, and others helped accelerate this shift, proving that youth no longer needs years of apprenticeship before threatening the elite. Eala now appears poised to join that movement fully. Her doubles partnership with Victoria Mboko only strengthens the sense that a new generation is arriving together. Their combination of athleticism, creativity, and fearlessness could become one of the tournament's most entertaining storylines. Former junior rivals transforming into doubles partners at Roland Garros feels symbolic of the broader evolution happening inside the sport. And all of this pressure, attention, hype, and expectation is now converging simultaneously in Paris. That is what makes this moment feel historic. Not because Alexandra Eala has already conquered the sport, but because she has reached the point where millions genuinely believe she might. That belief is extraordinarily powerful. Changes how crowds react. It changes how broadcasters frame narratives. Changes how opponents prepare mentally. Most importantly, it changes how the athlete sees herself. And Eala increasingly carries herself like someone who understands she belongs on these stages now. No hesitation, no apology, no fear of reputation, just relentless belief. As Roland Garros begins, the world will watch closely to see whether Alexandra Eala can transform momentum into a true breakthrough run. Perhaps she reaches the second week. Perhaps she shocks another top seed. Perhaps she experiences another painful learning lesson beneath the Parisian rain. But regardless of the final result, one truth has already become impossible to deny. The rise of Alexandra Eala is real. The movement behind her is real. The emotional connection she has built with millions of people is real. And the tennis world can no longer pretend otherwise. Because somewhere between the viral highlights, the roaring Filipino crowds, the brutal clay court battles, and the relentless training sessions under the philosophy of Rafael Nadal, Alexandra Eala stopped looking like the future of tennis.